This video is sponsored by Squarespace. Between now and the end of 2025, all of my camera gear needs to fit inside one backpack, which means there's no space for anything that isn't completely necessary. And trust me, once you start adding microphones, monitors, and analog film cameras, it starts to get a bit silly. In this video, I'm going to show you all of the kit that I'm taking with me from now in June until December 2025 around the world. Although I'm only really going to 4 countries, but they are pretty far apart from each other. And for those of you who are subscribed to the channel, at the end of this video, I'm going to go into a little bit of why this is happening and what you can expect in these upcoming videos. And for those of you who aren't currently subscribed, why not subscribe to the channel? We're currently on the road to 70,000 subscribers, and it'd be great to have you along to learn more about street photography. It's dawning on me that this is not really a street photography video, this is a very gear focused video. So if you like gear, you are in the right place for this one. And we're going to start with what holds all of my gear. And that currently is this Moment Everything backpack. This is the black 28 litre version, and I like this backpack purely because it is not actually a camera bag. You know how I feel about camera bags. When it's a dedicated camera bag, it becomes a very bad backpack, and also isn't very good at being a camera bag in the first place. So the Moment 28 litre Everything backpack for me is fantastic because when I have this Pete Design camera cube in it, it's a great camera bag, and the second I take that out, it's a great everyday backpack. It has a laptop sleeve, lots of different compartments, it can open in the whole like full shell like a camera bag, but it also can just work as a very nice, minimal, everyday backpack. And that's everything I love about it. Alongside my backpack, I also have this Moment Everything sling. And this is actually my first ever dedicated camera sling. I've often used like my Uniqlo sling, which is very good, but when you need something that has just a couple of compartments for separating batteries and filters, etc., these two bags together are going to be everything that I'm using for carrying my camera gear, whether it's between full destinations or just going out for a day or two of shooting. I should say I am taking 2 interchangeable lens cameras with me, and 2 other cameras, but we'll get into those. But the first of those interchangeable lens cameras is actually my analog film camera. This is the Canon L3. I use this Canon L3, it's a 35mm film rangefinder. It uses the Leica thread mount, and with that, I have my Canon 35mm f2.8, which is my favorite lens I've ever owned. And then I have my Industar 50mm f2.8. And I really like this camera system just in terms of how small it is for a film camera. However, it has no internal light meter. It doesn't have any battery or assisted controls. It's fully mechanical, and the lenses, because of the thread mount, actually adapt really nicely to my main interchangeable lens digital camera. And of course, that main digital camera is my Sony a7C II. I'm bringing this camera purely because it shoots both fantastic video and fantastic photos. Everything that I'm using with this camera helps me to create wherever I am. I can have a larger setup like I'm using right now with a monitor attached, which we'll get into, or I can just take it out and about. I have an EVF built in and the LCD. Even though neither of these are the best quality, they are there inside what is a very compact full frame package. You'll notice on the bottom of this camera, I actually have a small rig base plate. And the reason that I have this is a couple of reasons. One, it actually just adds a bit of grip to the camera, and also this base plate actually doubles up as a tripod plate for my tripod, which I'm going to get into a little bit at the end of this video too. For Sony E-mount, as well as the Canon 35mm that I like to adapt to this camera from my film camera, I have brought with me one zoom lens, and that is the Sony 20-70 f4. This is a new lens, as in it came out like a year ago, and I bought it new recently, somehow for cheaper than it sells for used on MPB. I don't know how that happened, but yes, I got rid of my Tamron 17-28 f2.8 and my 28-75 f2.8. I'm just bringing with me this Sony 20-70 f4. I hear you screaming, why would you buy an f4 lens? Well, focal length for me actually matters a lot more than the aperture value. As well as this lens actually being weather sealed, meaning that I have a weather sealed lens and camera, which I didn't previously have, it also covers the focal length that I used absolutely the most. I only had my Tamron 17-28 so that I could cover that like 17 to 24 range. If I had something just 20mm, that's plenty wide enough for me when I am shooting in tighter spaces, or I want to create more interesting shots in like narrow spaces with video. And for me, having that 20 I know is going to come in a lot more useful than having an f2.8. So this going from 20 up to 70 for me is perfect. And I know when it comes to shooting either video or shooting photos, I rarely go below f4. Usually I'm f5.6 to f8 the majority of the time. This video right now, we're currently at f4.5 and I'm just using natural light. This works pretty well for me. That also reminds me, I have not brought an actual light with me on this trip. That was one of the sacrifices I had to make. So we're just shooting with natural light for the next like 6 months, which is going to be challenging considering I'm used to having lights ready to go when shooting indoors. But who knows, maybe when I'm out shooting in a low light situation in a city somewhere, I might regret only having an f4 lens. We'll have to wait and see. You know what you will never regret though? Making your first website with today's sponsor, Squarespace. If you don't have a website for your photography, you are missing out. It's your unique home on the internet for your fans to enjoy and support your work. Squarespace removes all of the headaches. You can even choose to create a fully custom website with Blueprint AI, tailored to your site and personality. You can update your fans easily via an email newsletter using Squarespace's email campaign tools. You can write, publish, and view your analytics all within your Squarespace dashboard. Try Squarespace for free today at squarespace.com. And when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/GeorgeHolden to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. Before we continue with the cameras that I'm taking with me, I actually have a couple of accessories I want to talk to you about. On the Sony 20-70, I have a few filters with me. So I have Moment Cinebloom filters, both in 5% strength and 10% strength. And then I have Moment Variable ND filters from, is it 2 to 5 stops? And then 6 to 9 stops? I can't remember what the actual brackets are, but I've got all my diffusion covered, all of my ND covered. We should be golden in any situation. Then for audio, how I need good audio, I have brought with me a shotgun mic. And not just any shotgun mic, one that I actually featured in a short a few months ago from Comica. I was actually looking at this Comica microphone a little bit before they reached out to me. So when they reached out to send it to me in return for a piece of content, it was like win-win. This is the Comica VM40. It's actually here at the moment. And this mic, try to put it back where I just had it. The VM40 has a wireless receiver that I can just put on top of the camera, and then I don't have to have any wires going between the microphone and the camera, which is a nice bonus. Alongside this Comica shotgun mic, of course, we also have the DJI Mic 2 kit. Like everyone these days, we're all using the DJI Mic 2 for good reason. They are very nice just to be able to have a transmitter with a built-in mic that you can use with a wind muff that also has internal recording. I do have 2 of the transmitters and 1 receiver, but I don't love the audio quality from the transmitter itself. So I just recently picked up the DJI lavalier mic, which you'll probably hear in my next video. And hopefully that's going to improve the audio quality of that. But I really don't like to use lavalier mics indoors. I prefer to use those outdoors because there's no reverb. I prefer to use a shotgun mic indoors because it isolates me and kind of removes a lot of echo and reverb that can happen. So that's why I have 2 different mic kits, but I think both of them were wise things to bring with me compared to a lot of other things, like extra lenses, for example. And of course, you don't bring a DJI Mic 2 without the trusty Pocket 3. The DJI Pocket 3 I've had for about a year or more. It's fantastic. I can't wait for the next one. Whenever it comes out, I'm gonna snatch it up straight away. But it is very useful. And once you start shooting with it in log and in manual exposure with variable NDs, it's like unbeatable in terms of just a pocketable extra B-roll camera. And sometimes for the whole vlogging thing as well as the variable ND that I have from K&F Concept, which I think is really levels up the camera completely. I also have kind of a little K&F Concept adapter mount on the bottom that I can attach to the bottom, and then I have that attached like a magnet mount, which means pretty much any lamppost or metallic surface can become a tripod. So especially when you're someone like me and you're a bit tall, you don't want to carry around a tripod all the time, and you want to do a little bit of talking to the camera in the middle of a photography video. It's very handy to be able to like slap the Pocket 3 on a lamppost and have like a perfect height tripod wherever you are, paired with the microphone, the ND, log footage. It does make it like a pretty unbeatable product in terms of self-shooting when you don't want to be carrying around a dedicated video camera. In an effort to shoot more POV, thought process, street photography videos, I have brought with me the DJI Action 4 as well. This is something that I need to kind of use more again. I don't use it quite the same way that I use the Pocket 3, but just to be able to have a camera on my chest using like the pendant magnet mount that I got from Amazon, it's very good to be able to just kind of take you along for the journey of shooting street photography. But I do need to kind of try a bit more with this camera to get more out of it for my YouTube videos, to be able to show you my thought process and also talk over the footage as well, either while I'm shooting or in a voiceover in the edit. I do want to do a lot more of those sort of videos. So bringing the Action 4 felt like a smart decision. I will be editing all of my photos and videos using my M1 MacBook Pro. This is just the old 13-inch first gen Apple Silicon laptop, still fast enough for everything that I need, and it helps me edit all my videos and all my photos very easily. And if you like the way that I edit my photos on Instagram, in my portfolio, and here on YouTube, you can pick up any of my Kodak film stock presets, my Fujifilm film stock presets, or my Naturally Filmic presets. And you can save by buying all 3 packs together in the 3-pack bundle, and viewers of this video can use this unique code at checkout to save an extra 20% off their purchase. You can go check out plenty of examples on my portfolio and my Instagram. I'll drop a link in the description for you to check those out. Last but not least, for my studio setup, I have my new Sirui carbon fiber travel tripod. Sirui sent this to me like a few weeks ago. It is absolutely fantastic. I'm gonna drop a link for it in the description below. It weighs like less than a kilo, packs down to very small, can go in a suitcase, can fit in the side of my backpack, so it means I'm taking it a lot more places than I ever used to take a travel tripod before. And with my small rig base plate on the bottom of my A7C, this actually mounts straight into the tripod, so I don't need to do any attaching tripod plates to the bottom of the camera either. Attached to my tripod, I have a HDMI monitor from Shimble. I can't remember the exact model name, it's like Z0600M or OOM, something like that. Fantastic monitor. And this was something that I was not going to bring. I thought a monitor is overkill, how much am I going to use it? But honestly, when shooting most of the B-roll for this video, I'm probably going to be using this monitor to be able to frame things without having to be behind the camera. Because when you need to shoot something and kind of be in it at the same time, having a monitor is invaluable. If you have someone else with you, of course they can check the footage, but when you have a monitor, it just makes self-shooting a complete breeze. Compared to faffing around, going back and checking the footage, you can just know you're getting it right in camera, and it's a huge time saver. So by now, it should just be the subscribers, or at least those who just subscribed at the beginning of this video. Here's the life update. What's going on? Why am I not in Manchester? Why are we on the road till December 2025? My partner and I, Lisa, who you may know, has a YouTube channel, also covering photography, Fujifilm, analog film, travel, all sorts of stuff. Go subscribe to her. I'll drop a link in the description. Both of us were living in Manchester together, and we kind of came to the end of renting in Manchester. It was either moving in somewhere else in Manchester or trying to make a go of it and move to London. But we thought, we're coming into summer. Our tenancy ended like in May. Why not go be on the road for a few months and have like a great summer, travel around a bit. Since we've known each other, we've both pretty much only been in the UK. So we really just wanted to make a go of that and enjoy this period of time. It's not going to be a forever thing. I don't think I'd ever do this. on like an indefinite basis. At the end of this, we will then, you know, have learned a lot more, had lots of new experiences, and then we can go back to the UK and get destroyed by the UK rental market once again. As if you're from the UK, you will understand. I imagine it's the same most places in the world at the moment. Things be crazy. So you can expect lots of different videos. As much as I am sitting in a room right now talking to the camera for this particular video, a lot of it isn't going to be like this. We're going to be out doing street photography, thought process, lots of self-filming POV sort of stuff, lots of Lisa and I filming each other, doing different things. And I really want to start creating more high value content for you. I don't want to be always sitting around talking about gear and things like that, because there are many channels that do that. I don't know how many more of them we need. I've kind of done that for a while. I really like to get out and, through improving my own photography, help you to improve your photography. Whether that's from the basics, technical issues, or if it's more mindset, street photography approach. Also getting over the fear of photography and, you know, putting yourself in uncomfortable situations to be able to get the great photos. Because I feel like I was doing that for a while, and through YouTube becoming a bit more of a business, I stopped doing that so much. But I really want to get back to doing that. And I know when I make a camera video, I'm going to get a lot of views. That's why people do it. But I want to make the more helpful, high value videos for you, so that I don't really mind if the video doesn't get as many views. I'd rather have something that's super valuable for you that you can come back to in the future. If you need a refresher of how to do something, or you need that extra bit of inspiration again, you can come back to that video and watch it again. Because I want that sort of like valuable source of information, much rather than, you know, a random camera review video, which, you know, I love as much as the next person. I don't think you're going to come back and watch that again. It kind of feels forgettable and like anyone could do it. Speaking of the new videos that you should be expecting in the future, I actually want you to go watch this video here. This is my favorite video I've made on this channel, and I want to make more videos like this. All about asking strangers for photos and overcoming that fear in photography to be able to get the better photos that you're too scared to go for.